Let me tell y'all something. When people lie on you, your first instinct is to defend yourself. You want to go out there, set the record straight, clear your name. I get it, because ain't nothing more frustrating than knowing the truth while folks out here running their mouth, paint a whole different picture of you. But let me save you some time. You don't fight lies with more words. You fight them with time. See, the problem with a lie is it needs constant maintenance. A lie got to be fed, watered, and nurtured to survive. The truth stands on its own. It don't need help. It don't need convincing. And the people who believe lies about you, they were never really on your side to begin with. Because real ones, they don't just take what they hear and run with it. They check the source. They look at the facts. They pay attention to who you really are. So when somebody out here lying on you, let them waste their breath. The truth got a way of creeping up on folks when they least expect it. You ever notice how some people work overtime to make you look bad? Like they got a full-time job making up stories about you. But see, that right there tells you something. If you really were what they say you are, why they got to keep working so hard to convince people? Because deep down, they know they lying. Deep down, they know if they don't keep running their mouth, the truth gonna come out. And guess what? The truth don't have a deadline. It don't get tired. It just waits. And when it finally shows up, oh, it's gonna be loud. It's going to be clear, and it's going to expose everything in the right time. Now, I ain't saying stay silent because it's easy. No, this ain't easy. Keeping quiet when you know the truth, that takes strength. That takes patience. That takes faith. But trust me, it's worth it, because every time you respond to a lie, you giving it more life. Every time you argue with somebody who ain't even worth your energy, you lowering yourself to their level. And let me tell you, you don't have to prove yourself to nobody. Not to people who don't respect you, not to people who believe anything they hear, and especially not to people who ain't even in the position to judge you in the first place. Somebody out there spreading lies about you right now. That's life. Maybe it's an ex, a fake friend, a jealous coworker, or just somebody who don't like seeing you doing better than them. And you sitting there wondering if you should clap back, expose them, fight back. But let me ask you this, what's the point? Because see, people who know you, they ain't gonna believe it. And the people who don't know you, they already made up their mind. So why waste your peace trying to convince people who ain't even worth your time? You ever seen karma work? Oh, it's a beautiful thing. That same mouth they used to lie on you, one day that mouth gonna slip and they gonna expose themselves. That reputation they tried to ruin, one day they gonna need it for themselves. That job they tried to take from you, one day they gonna be out here looking for one. See, karma don't miss. It might take a while, but when it shows up, it's always on time. So what do you do in the meantime? Keep living, keep moving forward, keep being exactly who you are. Because at the end of the day, your character gonna speak louder than any lie ever could. And when the truth finally comes out, and trust me, it will, it's gonna be sweeter than anything you could have said. Betrayal cuts deep. It don't come from strangers. It comes from the people you trusted, the ones you let close. Ain't no pain like looking at somebody you once cared about and realizing they never had the same heart for you. And I know what you want to do. You want to call them out. Let them know you see them. Make sure they feel what you feel. But listen, that ain't your job. That's karma's job. And trust me, karma got a way of handling things far better than you ever could. See, when someone betrays you, they think they got away with it. They walking around like they won, like they pulled a fast one on you. But what they don't realize is you ain't lose nothing real, they did. You lost somebody who lied, who disrespected you, who didn't value you. They lost somebody loyal. And let me tell you, finding real loyalty in this world, that ain't easy. One day they're going to look around and realize they surrounded by people just like them, fake, selfish, untrustworthy. And that's going to be their karma. But here's where a lot of folks mess up. Instead of letting karma handle it, they try to get even. They try to do the betrayer like they did them. But listen, when you step in and try to play karma, you delay it. You block the lesson they're supposed to learn. Because now, instead of facing the consequences of what they did, they just gonna say, see, they ain't no better than me. And you stuck playing a game you never need to play. I know it hurts. I know it's frustrating. When you've been nothing but good to somebody and they turn around and do you dirty, it make you question yourself, make you wonder if you should change, stop being so kind, stop being so open. But don't do that. Don't let somebody else's lack of character change yours. Your kindness wasn't the problem, their ungratefulness was. And what you don't realize is, while you sitting there hurting, wondering why they did you like that, life is already setting them up for a lesson they ain't gonna see coming. You ever seen somebody betray a good person thinking they winning, only to watch their whole life fall apart later? Oh, I seen it. That same friend that talked behind your back, one day they gonna need a friend and ain't nobody gonna be there. That person that used you, took you for granted, one day they gonna wish they had somebody like you in their corner, but it'll be too late. See, life don't let people get away with nothing. You might not see it right away, but best believe what goes around comes right back around. So what do? You move on. You don't beg, you don't chase, you don't even explain yourself. You just step back and let life do its work. Because one day they gonna remember you. They gonna think about the way you had their back, the way you cared, the way you were real when they wasn't. And in that moment, they gonna feel everything they put you through. And guess what? By then, you won't even care. There's gonna come a time in your life when somebody tries to embarrass you, make you look foolish, put you down in front of people. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your own family, maybe it's somebody you trusted. And in that moment, everything in you is gonna wanna clap back, set them straight, prove you ain't the one to play with. But listen, the loudest response you can give is silence. Because see, when folks try to embarrass you, they doing it for a reaction. They want you mad. They want you flustered. They want to control how you feel. And here's what you got to understand. People who try to put you down in public are only revealing what's broken in them. A confident, secure person don't need to tear nobody else down. They don't need to make jokes at somebody else's expense. So when somebody goes out of their way to embarrass you, that ain't about you. That's about them. That's their insecurity, their jealousy, their need for attention. You just the target they chose that day. Now, I know it don't feel like that in the moment. When you standing there and somebody says something slick, something meant to make you look stupid, your first thought is, oh, I gotta handle this. But let me tell you something. You don't have to prove nothing to people who ain't worth your time. You ever notice that the people got the most to say about you, who always trying to bring you down, are the ones who ain't doing nothing with their own life? That ain't no coincidence. See, people who feel small try to make others feel smaller. That's their way of feeling big. But here's where you mess up. You feed into it. You let them get you angry. And now you arguing. You explaining yourself. You matching their energy. And guess what? Now you part of the joke. Now you giving people something to talk about. But when you stay silent, when you just smile, shake your head and keep it moving, or nothing eats a person up more than being ignored, you take their power away. You let them sit in their own mess, and most importantly, you keep your dignity. I ain't saying be a pushover. I ain't saying let people walk all over you. But what I am saying is pick your battles wisely. Not every moment needs a response. Not every fool deserves an answer. Some folks want a reaction so bad that the best way to handle them is to give them nothing. Because when they don't get the reaction they want, they start looking foolish on their own. And that's karma working right in front of your eyes. You ever seen somebody try to embarrass a person and then later on life embarrassed them? Oh, I done seen it. That coworker that tried to put you on the spot, one day they gonna be in a situation where they the ones looking stupid. That family member that always got something slick to say, one day they gonna need you. That person who laughed at you, disrespected you, one day they gonna wish they had your respect. See, life got a way of flipping the script, and when it does, you gonna be glad you didn't waste your energy trying to prove something. So what do? You hold your head up. You let people talk. You let them show their true colors. Because at the end of the day, your character gonna speak louder than any insult ever could. And the same folks laughing now, oh, they gonna be watching when you win. Jealousy is a funny thing. It don't come from strangers. It comes from the people closest to you, friends, family, co-workers, the very ones who smile in your face, but deep down, they can't stand to see you doing better than them. And the moment you start elevating, the moment you start winning, they start acting different. They get quiet when you share good news. They throw little slick comments, make handed compliments, and you sitting there wondering, what did I do? Let me tell you, you ain't do nothing but be yourself. You didn't change. They just couldn't handle watching you grow. See, when you start shining, people got two choices. They can celebrate you or they can envy you. And insecure folks, they gonna choose envy every time. Because your success reminds them of what they ain't doing. Your blessings make them question why their life ain't moving the same way. But instead of fixing themselves, instead of working harder, instead of clapping for you and trusting that their time will come, they take the easy route, they start hating. And that right there, that ain't your problem to fix. Now, I know what you want to do. You want to explain yourself. You want to prove to them that you still the same person, that you ain't acting funny, that you ain't looking down on nobody. But listen, jealousy, don't listen to logic. It don't care how kind you are, how humble you stay, how much you try to bring people with you. A jealous person will find a reason to hate no matter what you do. So stop wasting your energy trying to convince folks to be happy for you. If they can't clap for you now, they was never really in your corner to begin with. And let's be real, some folks were fine with you when you were struggling, or they loved you when you were at their level, when y'all were in the same boat. But the moment you started making moves, the moment things started looking up for you, they got uncomfortable, because now they can't use you as a comparison. Now they can't sit next to you and feel better about themselves. And instead of leveling up too, instead of letting your success inspire them, they'd rather resent you for it. But here's where people mess up. They let jealousy drag them into unnecessary battles. They get caught up trying to defend themselves, trying to prove they ain't changed, trying to force people to support them. But listen, you don't owe nobody an explanation for your success. You worked for it. You prayed for it. You sacrificed for it. So why would you let somebody's insecurity make you feel guilty for what's already yours? You ever notice how the people who hate on you the most are the ones who ain't even doing nothing with their own life? Ain't that funny? The loudest critics, the ones always talking about what you should or shouldn't be doing, 9 times out of 10, they sitting on the sidelines watching you play the game while they too scared to step on the field. That's why you can't take their words to heart. You got to let people stay mad while you keep moving forward. Now, don't get me wrong, it's disappointing. When you thought somebody was in your corner, when you thought y'all were building together, only to find out they were secretly hoping you'd stay in the same place forever, that hurts. But what you got to understand is jealousy don't come from a place of strength. It comes from weakness. And when you realize that, you stop taking it personal. You stop wasting time trying to make peace with people who have already decided they'd rather hate than grow. So what do? You keep winning. You keep leveling up. You keep doing exactly what you were called to do. And if your success makes people uncomfortable, let it. That ain't your burden to carry. Because at the end of the day, your blessings ain't up for discussion. There are people in this world who thrive on manipulation. They twist words, play the victim, and make you second guess yourself. You ever had someone do you wrong, but somehow by the end of the conversation, you the one apologizing? That's a manipulator at work. And the biggest mistake you can make with them is trying to argue, trying to prove yourself, trying to make them see the truth. Listen, you don't argue with manipulators. You starve them. You take away their power by giving them nothing. See, manipulators don't argue to understand. They argue to confuse, to control, to wear you down until you're so exhausted you just give in. They'll twist the story, bring up things that ain't got nothing to do with the situation, and turn themselves into the victim. And the moment you start defending yourself, they already won. Because now, instead of holding them accountable, you wasting energy explaining yourself to somebody who never planned on listening anyway. And here's where people go wrong. They think if they just explain things right, if they just break it down in a way the other person can understand, then everything will be fine. But let me tell you something. Manipulators don't misunderstand you by accident. They misunderstand you on purpose. Because as long as they can keep you explaining, they don't have to take responsibility for nothing. And you sitting there going in circles, frustrated, exhausted, while they sitting back, calm as ever, watching you work overtime to defend yourself. But when you stop engaging, when you stop reacting, when you just sit back and say, all right, and keep it moving, oh, that drives them crazy. Because manipulators need your energy to survive. They feed off your frustration, off your need to be understood, off your desire to make peace. But the moment you stop playing their game, the moment you stop giving them the reaction they want, they lose control. And that right there, that's when karma starts working. See, life got a way of exposing people. You ain't got to argue with a manipulator. You just got to sit back and watch. Because eventually, they going to do the same thing to the wrong person, and it's going to backfire. That boss that always shifting blame onto others, one day they going to mess with the wrong employee and lose their job. That friend who always twisting the truth to make themselves look good, one day they're going to get caught up in their own lies. That family member who always playing victim while causing chaos, one day people gonna see them for who they really are. You don't have to expose them. Life gonna do that for you. And let's be real, manipulators don't just wanna win. They want to control how you feel. That's why they do things to get under your skin, to make you react, to make you question yourself. But when you stay silent, when you don't give them nothing to work with, ooh, that silence gonna be louder than any argument ever could. But let me warn you, when you stop responding, when you stop playing into their games, they gonna try harder. They gonna push more buttons, say things just to get a rise out of you. Because see, manipulators can't stand losing control, but you got to stay strong. You got to remind yourself that engaging with them only drains you, only takes you further away from your peace. And your peace, oh, that's priceless. You ever notice that the people who cause the most drama always claim they hate drama? Isn't that funny? The ones who stir the pot the most, always the first ones talking about, I just want peace. But real peace, it don't come from proving yourself to people who ain't even listening. It comes from walking away and letting them deal with their own mess. So what do? You stop responding. You stop explaining. You stop wasting time trying to make somebody see the truth when they ain't even looking for it. And when you do that, oh, life gonna handle the rest. Because at the end of the day, manipulators can only play the game if you're sitting at the table. So get up, walk away, and let karma take their seat. Now let that sit with you. Disrespect is one of those things that'll test you like nothing else. Somebody talking down to you, treating you like you ain't worth nothing, acting like you supposed to just take it, or that'll light a fire in you real quick. And everything in you gonna wanna snap back, put them in their place, make sure they never try you again. But listen, the real power ain't in how loud you clap back. It's in how strong you stand without saying a word. Because see, when somebody disrespects you, what they really doing is looking for a reaction. They trying to get a rise out of you, trying to prove they got control over your emotions. And the moment you let them, you already lost. You ever notice how people who go around disrespecting others always seem the most miserable? That's because disrespect don't come from strength, it comes from weakness. Happy, secure people don't go around tearing others down. Only the insecure do that. Only the ones who got something missing inside them feel the need to belittle others just to feel big. And that right there, that's why you can't let it get to you. Because the moment you react, you stepping down to their level. And trust me, that's a level you don't want to be on. Now, I ain't saying let people walk all over you. I ain't saying tolerate nonsense. But what I am saying is not every insult needs a response. Not every battle is worth fighting. Because some folks, they ain't looking for a conversation. They looking for chaos. They looking to pull you into their negativity, to get you to act out of character, to drag you into a mess that you don't even belong in. And the best way to handle that, don't give them the satisfaction. See, life got a way of humbling people far better than you ever could. That boss that keeps belittling you in front of others, one day they're gonna answer to the wrong person. That person who disrespects you because they think you ain't on their level, one day they're going to find themselves needing somebody they look down on. That so-called friend who always got something slick to say, one day they're going to wish they had your respect. You ain't got to do nothing but let time take care of it. But here's where people mess up. They think silence means weakness. They think if they don't respond, if they don't defend themselves, it means they letting somebody get away with it. But let me tell you something. Silence ain't weakness. Silence is discipline. Silence is control. Silence is knowing that you worth more than a petty argument with somebody who don't even matter in the grand scheme of things. And don't get me wrong, I know it's hard. When somebody disrespects you, the first thing you want to do is check them. You want to make sure they know exactly who they're dealing with. But let me ask you, what do you gain from that? Because 9 times out of 10, somebody who's comfortable disrespecting you ain't the type of person who's going to listen to reason. They ain't going to suddenly have an epiphany and say, oh, you know what, I was wrong. No, they just going to argue more. They just gonna try harder to get under your skin. And at the end of the day, you gonna be the one who wasted time and energy on somebody who was never worth it. But when you don't respond, when you just look at them, maybe even smile and keep it moving, oh, that eat them up inside. Because now they got to sit with themselves. They got to wonder why you ain't fazed, why you ain't pressed, why you ain't give them the reaction they was looking for. And that right there, that's real power. You ever seen somebody disrespect a good person, thinking they was getting away with it, only to have life spin around and teach them a lesson? When we would get around to teach them, oh, I've seen it, that's why you ain't got to waste your breath. Let karma handle what you don't need to, because disrespect got a way of coming back full circle. And when it does, oh, it don't just tap folks on the shoulder, it knocks them right off their feet. So what do? You stay unbothered. You keep your head up, you keep your energy high, because at the end of the day, your silence gonna speak louder than any words ever could. Now let that sit with you. Betrayal, that's a different kind of hurt. That's not just somebody doing you wrong, that's somebody you trusted, somebody you let close, turning around and cutting you deep. And the worst part, it never comes from an enemy, it always comes from the ones you never saw coming. A friend, a family member, somebody you gave your time, your love, your energy to, and when it happens, oh, it shakes you. It makes you question everything. It makes you want to lash out, set the record straight, make sure everybody knows exactly what they did to you. But listen to me, you don't heal by getting even. You heal by letting go. See, betrayal is loud. It's messy, it's ugly, but silence, oh, silence is powerful. Silence says, I don't have to expose you. Your actions already did that. Silence says, I don't have to chase justice. Life gonna handle that for me. And trust me, it always does. Because you can't move through this world doing people wrong and think it ain't gonna catch up to you. That's not how this thing works. Now, I know what you thinking, but they got away with it. They out here living like nothing happened while I'm the one hurting. But let me tell you something, nobody gets away with betrayal, nobody. It might look like they win and it might look like they got the last laugh, but life got a way of circling back around. And when it does, oh, it don't miss. See, when somebody betrays you, they don't just lose your trust, they lose their peace. Because deep down, they know what they did, and no matter how much they try to act like it don't bother them, no matter how much they try to justify it, that guilt, that's gonna live with them. Every time they see you doing good, every time they hear your name, every time they remember how solid you were to them, oh, it's gonna eat them up inside. And here's what people mess up. They let betrayal turn them bitter. They let that hurt change who they are. They start moving different, start pushing people away, start thinking they can't trust nobody. But listen, don't let what they did harden your heart. Because the truth is, they didn't betray you because of who you are. They betrayed you because of who they are. And that ain't got nothing to do with you. You ever notice how the people who betray others are never truly happy? They're always looking over their shoulder, always jumping from one relationship to the next, one friendship to the next, one situation to the next, because deep down, they know they can't be trusted. And when you can't trust yourself, oh, that's a miserable way to live. But when you stay silent, when you don't go around trying to defend yourself, try to make them see what they lost, try to make them feel what you felt, that silence becomes their lesson. Because now they got to sit with the fact that they lost something real. They got to sit with the fact that you moved on without them, and that's a pain deeper than any words you could ever say. Now, don't get me wrong, I know it ain't easy. When somebody betrays you, the natural instinct is to make sure everybody knows the truth. You want to call them out, tell your side, make sure their lies don't stand. But listen, the truth don't need defending. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. The same people they lied to, oh, one day, those same people going to see them for who they really are. Because when somebody is a betrayer, a liar, a snake, they don't just do it once. That's who they are. And eventually everybody gonna see it for themselves. So what do? You walk away with your head high, you let them go, you let them deal with the weight of what they did while you focus on your peace, your future, your blessings. Because at the end of the day, the best revenge is never revenge, it's elevation. Now let that sit with you. Life has a way of balancing itself out. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to prove every point. And you don't have to chase justice for every wrong done to you. Some things are best handled in silence. Because see, karma never loses an address. The people who lied on you, who disrespected you, who betrayed your trust, who tried to break your spirit, they got their own lessons coming. And you don't need to waste your time trying to teach them. Life gonna do that for you. So protect your peace. Walk away from unnecessary battles. Focus on your growth, your joy, your purpose. Let your success be your response. Let your happiness be your clap back. And let karma handle the rest. I wish you nothing but elevation, strength, and peace on your journey. Keep your head high, stay true to yourself, and remember, you never lose by walking away from the nonsense. You only lose by letting it pull you down. Good luck, stay blessed, and thank you